This is the Cannabis Podcast on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
Hello, everybody. This is Ian Beckles, and welcome back to the Cannabis Podcast. Hopefully, everybody had a wonderful week. Now, this is the podcast where I try to educate you guys in the wonderful plant that is marijuana, and there's a lot of different aspects of it, and that's what this is all about. It's all about education, and first and foremost, I want to thank my people at Curaleaf, who are my title sponsors. Curaleaf has a place right here in South Tampa that I go hang out, right across from the Starbucks. So they have one in South Tampa. They have one on Northdale, Mabry, and Lutz. They have one in Brandon, Clearwater, Palm Harbor, St. Petersburg, Bradenton, Sarasota, and O-Town, Orlando. So if you're listening to my voice and you're here in Florida, there's a Curaleaf near you somewhere. So please go and take advantage. There's a reason why I have Curaleaf as my title sponsor. I've tried just about all the dispensaries out there, and on everything I love, I just came from Curaleaf. And the poor young man there said, he goes, "You're here again?" I said, "Yes, I'm here again." It's almost like a field trip. I think it was my 5th time there this month. And I'm the kind of guy, I don't like to go there and just get everything in bulk. I like to get a little something here, a little something there, because I enjoy the experience of going to the dispensary. So for those of you that don't have a dispensary that you go to, I just say this: try Curaleaf out. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Now, we have an event coming up that I'm going to be associated with, Creative Loafing, and also Curaleaf, and it's going to be a 710 event. That's going to be at Pepin Distributing, which is over there near the casino. It's a beautiful indoor facility, and it's going to be a cannabis event. And we're going to have a lot of different vendors there. So if you're a vendor that tries to be involved in some different events and goes to different markets, please get in touch with me some way or another. My email is flavoroftampabay@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on social media. I'm mostly an Instagram guy. It's Ian_Beckles. So take advantage of that, please. So I just came back from Curaleaf. And like I said, it's almost like a field trip to me. I just don't know what I'm getting into every time I get there. That's what's so great about it. And it's a different experience every time. And I'm going to say this. I like to tell people this. If you go to a dispensary, and hopefully it's going to be Curaleaf, but any dispensary you go to, the first question you should ask them is, what are your specials? I mean, that's the main thing, because nobody wants to pay full price for anything. I don't. I try not to anyways. What are your specials? And then go from there. I got a couple of good buddies who are now going to Curaleaf, and they're amazed at what you can get accomplished. And I'm gonna show you guys what you can get accomplished. So I just came from Curaleaf. Here's my bill right there. All right, you can't see it obviously on TV. You can't see it on the podcast either. But I'm holding my bill right here. I just went to Curaleaf. Thought to myself, I need a couple pre-rolled. But first and foremost, I said, "What is your special?" The young man said, everything is 2 for 1 or BOGO, which is a good start. So I looked around. I know I want some pre-rolls. So I bought some of the pre-rolls, full size, all right? And I bought some of the minis as well. And once again, it's 2 for 1, buy one, get one free. This is the normal size pre-rolls. And then they also have the minis as well, that you can kind of stick and move right there. That's a singular one. And I mean, listen, you can sit there and roll by yourself. It just doesn't really make any sense anymore. They're so cost efficient, and it really doesn't make sense just to go to Curaleaf and let them get that done. But let me explain to you what I got accomplished here just today when I went to Curaleaf. Everything was buy one, get one free. So I bought 2 full-size pre-rolled and 1 mini. So I literally got 4 pre-rolls and 2 minis, all right? Then I want some chews, which are gummies, the equivalent of the gummies. Thc Chews, 10 milligrams per piece. You get 20 in the package right here. They're fantastic. And for those of you that like the gummies, this is the way to fall asleep right there. Everybody has a different tolerance. This is the best way to go to sleep for your THC right there. And for me, it's 200 milligrams total THC in this package. Like I said, this is nighttime. So I bought one of these, got one for free. So I ended up getting 6 pre-rolls and 2 packages of gummies, and I paid $52. Now, I don't know what you're paying on the street for your stuff. You know, I went in there and he said, how many times you been here this month? I said, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. He looked at it, he goes, oh, you got $29 more. They're just giving away money at the dispensaries because it's a competition. And the person that goes to Curaleaf or whatever dispensary you go there because they treat you the right way or they treat you the best. Just like whatever bar you go to is the one that treats you the best and recognizes you when you go in there, and that's, to me, Curaleaf. But you can't beat a dang deal, $52 for 2 packages of gummies and 6 pre-rolls. Can't beat that. I don't give a crap where you're going. I guarantee you can't beat that. So, you know, this podcast is basically to talk to you about the beautiful medical plant, which is marijuana. And once again, it's all about education. I had a great business meeting last night. I went to Sarasota. I hung out with my guys from Elite Team, which is a financial advisors group. And, you know, I was talking to them and we're talking about my podcast. And one of the young men there says he suffers from chronic cough. And he said, somebody told me that marijuana and cannabis can help me. And I said, well, what did you do? He said, well, I tried it out, but I don't like to smoke. And I said, well, why don't you just eat it? And he says, well, I can do that, but it's not so great for my speech and I'm doing business every day. Listen, cannabis is not for everybody all the time. You know, I'm not taking cannabis all day long. I got to speak for a living. So, you know, when you're speaking for a living, sometimes a bunch of cannabis ain't the way to go. But he told me that the cannabis that he was smoking helped his chronic cough. Now, isn't that ironic that really the only negative towards cannabis is that you're smoking, okay? If you eat THC, there's no negative to that. I mean, it's a plant, all right? If you're smoking it, you're still smoking something, although there's some studies out there that say that it basically broadens your lung capacity. I'm not a doctor. I'm not the one saying that, although there are studies out there that say that. So I was shocked that the young man was telling me that smoking marijuana actually helps for a chronic cough. I mean, there's a list of things that, you know, medical marijuana do. And I never saw chronic cough. I never seen that. But he said it helped him. And, you know, hopefully he's going to learn a few things and tinker with a few things. And it's going to help him out later on. So it's very interesting when you find out the different things that cannabis helps us with. And the chronic cough is one of them as well. Now, once again, it's all about dispensaries versus dealers. Okay, so a lot of you guys get your marijuana from a dealer, which way or the other. So to me, you know, the people that are getting it through a dispensary, you guys understand how important it is to go to the dispensary. For those of you getting it from a dealer, you have no idea. Because I've tried to put dozens of people onto dispensaries, and after they finally do it, they understand why they made that move, okay? So it's important for knowledge's sake. Whoever your dealer is, and, you know, I'm not trying to talk down dealers, but dealers have minimal knowledge. Ask your dealer a question about percentage, where you get it from. They don't have the answers to that. And to me, that's the reason to get your medical marijuana card and make it legal. Making it legal should be the first thing, okay? So if you have the medical marijuana card and you happen to be smoking at your crib or smoking wherever you may be, and a cop wants to be that guy, when you flash that card out, that's your savior. So to me, that's first and foremost, because there's people that are in jail for joints. And I don't want to be that guy to be in jail for one stinking joint. I don't want to be that guy. Listen, pot is legal. We all know that. But the crazy part is I'm originally from Montreal, Canada. And we all know that marijuana is legal in Canada, top to bottom legal. It's been that way for a while. And, you know, what they ran into was when they first legalized it, they had a short. And that's what's happening in New York and in New Jersey. They're saying there's a tidal wave of people that want medical marijuana, and they can't create it fast enough. I mean, they're there in New York and New Jersey growing it, and they cannot grow it fast enough. That's the issue, okay? And, I've seen different documentaries from marijuana and the transportation of it. The funny part is, if you cross state lines, then you're taking a chance, because if you're driving marijuana around and you're crossing state lines, there's different rules and regulations for every state. So what was happening is, we know that California is as liberal as can be as far as marijuana goes, and the prices, like right now, if I took this marijuana right here that I got for $50-something, and I drove it to a state that doesn't have regulations, doesn't have legalization, I can make a lot of money. That's the way life works. What was happening before they legalized it in New York is people were driving from California to New York with truckloads of marijuana, and the street value in New York was worth 3 times what it was in California. It's all about supply and demand. So, what's crazy is, there's such a need now for marijuana now that's become legal in a couple different states. That's why things are changing. And, for those people that still are against medical marijuana, and I don't know why anybody could be at this moment anymore. I really don't. The U.S. economy is receiving $92 billion from legal cannabis this year. $92 billion. So there's still, the deaths are stockpiling. We're still at zero. So $92 billion coming to a country's economy and 0 deaths. Literally 0. So to me, that's a no-brainer. I like to drink. Look at deaths from alcohol. Look at situations from alcohol. That's what we should really be trying to get off the street. And what's crazy is black market marijuana, even in a country that keeps on pushing for legalization, black market marijuana is still growing. Now, in the states where marijuana is legalized, we can go to Springfield. In 2008, there was 80 cannabis-related arrests in Springfield in 2018. In 2019, there was 57. In 2020, there was just 23 arrests. So in 3 years, it cut down in, 75%. That's what we want. Because once again, no deaths, no situations, and it's time, okay, period. But the police anticipated this happening. They anticipated a lot less arrests, obviously. But this is what the crazy part is. It has not lowered illegal marijuana sales. Illegal marijuana sales are the same. And I've always said that. I mean, it's just like if they made the drinking age 12, who would start drinking that's not already drinking? That's the long and short of it. I don't really know anybody that doesn't smoke marijuana because it's illegal. Because most people don't give a crap. Who waited till they were 21 to drink? You? I did not. Okay? So it's not about being illegal. It's just about if that's your world or that it's not your world. But the illegal marijuana world is still very, very alive. And that's even with dispensaries popping up everywhere. There's literally dispensaries up and down Gandhi. You go down over the bridge on Gandhi, take a left on 4th Street. There's a True Leaf there, and there's Cure Leaves everywhere, and there's dispensaries everywhere. And they're going to be popping up everywhere. And they're not going to stop popping up because they're making lots of money. They're making lots of money, and good for them. That's why I tell people, go get your card, people. And I don't want to keep on preaching that, but to me, I think that's very, very important that anybody involved right now in medical marijuana or marijuana in general that's helping your world, it's important that you go get your card. And I've been pushing people, and we've had Dr. Cannabis outside here at the Dignitary Cafe a couple times, and they were just here last week. And they had a bunch of people that went in there, got their medical marijuana card. I think it takes about 20 minutes for your appointment. And then you leave and you wait a week. You get the email You could actually bring the email to the dispensary to get your product, and then about a week from then you get your card and you're legal. It's not easy. If you're asking yourself, well, can I get my card? Just read up on it. I tell everybody, listen, I'm not a doctor and I'm not all that damn knowledgeable, but I read a little bit. I don't even like to read books. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I like to read up on things that interest me, and cannabis is one of them. And a lot of people don't think they're eligible to get their card, and it's from anxiety to restlessness to insomnia, PTSD. There's a lot of different categories. If I read down the whole categories, and if you don't fall in one of those categories, you don't deserve marijuana. But you're gonna fall in one of those categories. I don't know anybody that doesn't have anxiety. Nobody. I don't know anybody that doesn't have problems sleeping. Everybody does. That's just a natural thing, because that's just what the world brings us. The world brings us anxiety. That's unfortunately part of life. Now they've found a strain. Actually, it's a cannabinoid CBC that supposedly is a boost to the brain's bliss molecule, and it's a nature's antidepressant. You've heard THC, CBD, CBC, CBG. There's so many CBs out there, and all of them help, different aspects of your life. And that's why I'm saying read up on it. See what suits you. See if an indica suits you more than, a sativa. See if a 12% suits you more than a 20%. Everybody's different. And then it's all about dosage, micro dosing, and doing what's best for you in whatever situation you're dealing with. Your situation at 9 o'clock at night when you're winding down watching TV and watching some kind of funny movie is a different situation than you walking around the planet every day. Hopefully, you're not walking around the planet zooted. And I think that's what everybody perceives a marijuana smoker to be. That person walking around this planet zooted, and it just ain't that way anymore. Here at the Dignitary Cafe, we have different things that we sell. Delta 8 is one of them. And Delta 8 has actually been banned in 11 states where weed is legal, because the government hasn't quite figured out ways to make their money on the Delta 8 yet. So they're kind of messing with that a little bit, and I'm worried about Delta 8. I just don't know if it's gonna keep on lasting, because once again, you don't need your medical card to get Delta 8. You get it right here at the cafe, but it does get you high. So those are one of the things where I say be leery about that. Now there's good things, there's good advancements going on as far as medical marijuana. The U.S. government has approved a new growers or research marijuana for the first time in more than 50 years. So people involved in the process said that widening the capacity to study the drug medical value, basically they're not slowing down the process of learning what marijuana can do for us in our everyday living. There's been people, big pharma and money, throwing money at this forever to slow down the process, because when you talk about dispensaries, a lot of the government ain't making that money, okay, and they ain't getting the money from that, so they ain't about that, okay, and that's the way it's been forever. And you don't need to sit here and make it political, but we all understand that big pharma is some strong SOBs, and they've crushed a lot of people along the way because they're making billions and trillions of dollars. And the same doctors who may prescribe you Xanax or Vicodin or whatever it may be, a lot of times they don't want to prescribe marijuana. You see how hypocritical that is? You don't want to prescribe marijuana, but you'll prescribe Xanax. Look up Xanax. And you remember when Tiger Woods got pulled over and he was trying to recite the alphabet? You remember that? That was Xanax he was on. If you were smoking weed, and that good weed, you could recite the alphabet backwards, okay? Not with Xanax. He was zooted. He had no idea where he was, and he can barely speak. Can't get behind a car, can't do none of that. That's what's killing our country right now, period. And with the different states legalizing, we had New Jersey, Arizona, Montana, South Dakota, even Mississippi. When states like Mississippi are legalizing marijuana, that means we're heading in the right direction. All right, and since then we've had New York, New Mexico, Virginia, and Connecticut, Minnesota, and Hawaii are next. So it's not going to be very long before we have all 50 states that are rocking and rolling, and they're legal in all the different states. Now, every week I like to let you guys know one of my favorite strains out there. And once again, my people are Curaleaf, and I go get my stuff at Curaleaf every single week. Afghani Indica is actually my strain for this week, and I actually got this pre-rolled Afghani Indica. I've tried it before. It's not as strong as a strawberry diesel that I let you guys into, I taught you about last week. This is only 16% THC and 1% CBG. So it's a little less strong than that strawberry kush that we had last week. But this stuff is excellent. I've had it before. It's an indica. It's a potent indica marijuana strain. Delivers a deep state of relaxation and euphoria. The flavors produced are sweet and earthy. Okay, so whatever that means to you. Patients more commonly turn to the strain to treat insomnia, which we talked about earlier, pain, which everybody has, and stress disorders, which everybody has. So if you have any of the above, go to the Afghani Indica. It's delicious, and I've tried this quite a few times. I've run through the gamut, okay, of strains over there at Curaleaf, and I'm going around the loop, and I'm going back through it again, just to figure out once again which ones I enjoy more than the others. All right, so you need to go check out what you're all about as well. What I also like to do on this podcast is get you guys exposed to some local products. I think that's important because, in the event that we have on 7/10, we're going to have some head shops there. We're going to have some pre-roll stuff, probably hemp. We're going to have a lot of different products which are around the medical marijuana industry. But we want to get you guys exposed to some really cool companies that are doing things the right way. Right over here, Dignitary Cafe is right on the corner of Gandhi and West Shore. So we have a smoke shop right down the way, Gandhi Smoke Shop, and my guy Brian works there. And walked in, and he has a wonderful selection of pipes, which are called water pipes. All the pre-rolls, the whole 9 yards. You got the raw papers, all of it. I don't think there's anything he doesn't have. And he even has things that I never thought existed. So, I walked around, looked around his place, and he finally convinced me to jump on board and get a hookah. Now, I have never, myself, smoked out of a hookah. It's a different process, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but we're going to find out. There's a lot of things going on, and there's contraptions and wires and doohickeys and a lot of stuff happening. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to YouTube, check it out. I'm going to figure out a way, and I'm going to get this thing rolling. And next episode, I'm going to let you guys know what direction that went in. So I look forward to that. So that's going to be a field trip that I'm going to take here this week. And I also like to get you guys hip to a bunch of the local companies that are doing good things. This young lady who does this, for some reason, my mother was old school. My mother's not here anymore, but my mother had old school vases and stuff like that in her house. This reminds me of my mother's stuff. I don't know why that is. So when I was at the 420 festival over there in Sarasota, I saw this lovely young lady who was selling these, I guess these are one-of-a-kind things. They literally start off as vases, and she puts a little marijuana thing in there, she's ready to go. That's a pipe. It's a water pipe. If you guys can hear it bubbling, and I mean it's a collector's item, and it's sure it's something that's gonna make people talk. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, and it's practical. Fellows love to hit that. You got to hide that sometimes because I'm scared the fellows are gonna to break that. Now this is another one I saw the same thing, and the name of the company actually is called Toasty Treasures. You can check her out on Instagram. That's TOASTIE Treasures. Okay, so she had this piece right here and this piece right here, and she was bragging on this piece on Instagram. And when I saw it, I go, I must have that. That's important. And I'm the guy like goofy things, you know what I mean? And this is, a conversation piece to where, people are going to talk about it. Once again, practical. You can put it somewhere. It's furniture. It looks good in your place. And that's what it's all about. So I'm going to go for the hookah experience, all right, before the next episode. And I'm going to say this to everybody out there. The cannabis world is about experience, okay? It's about the experience. It's turning into the experience of going to dispensaries. If I had a nickel for every time people are bragging on their, situation where they're going to a dispensary and how great, the opportunity is, and I can't believe there's so many selections. A lot of people out there are missing out on that. They really are. And they've been doing it a certain way. And people in general, I'm 53 years old. I don't like a lot of change, okay? It took a while before I finally said, let me just go get my medical marijuana card. It took me a while, and when I finally did it, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I don't know why the hell I ever did it any other way. So I'm just telling you guys, I hate change. And the change of getting my medical marijuana card was probably one of the best changes that I've made. So if you're not in that world, get in that world, and you can thank me later. And once again, you can hit my people up at drcannabis.com. I'm not sure the next time they're going to be here, but they do have some different locations where they're going to do it. And you can use the promo code Dignitary, and I believe you get like 20% off or 10% off or something like that. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. Well, I really appreciate you guys listening in. This is a podcast and also a webcast. You can catch us on Radio Influence and also WeBeam TV. So we're getting maximum exposure. I want to put a lot of love out to Curaleaf. Get your ass out there and check out a Curaleaf this week, and everything I told you is going to come to fruition. I promise you. Great selection, great product, good customer service, and that's what this is all about. And this podcast is all about giving you guys some education. So once again, I appreciate you guys listening in. Hopefully you guys tune in every single week. You can hit me up on social media, Ian_Beckles. Hope you guys get out this week and smoke something delicious. I know I will. Peace out.
For more information on medical cannabis, make sure to follow Ian Beckles on Twitter at Ian Beckles. This has been the Cannabis Podcast on Radio Influence.